Hello, everyone, this is BatterHell24 here, and day 2, we're going back into the twisted and psychotic and deranged mind of the Theorizer. We're continuing his MORT theory. MORT theory number 2, All Hail King Julian, is the most disturbed show in history. 31-minute video. Again, I was told that I do not need to watch All Hail King Julian because he'll explain All Hail King Julian in detail and also go over a lot of stuff that Mort is part of. If you have not seen the last video on this, then I highly suggest you watch my reaction to it. I'm sorry that the volume for the video was very low in that one. I am not professional with leveling my audio. Hopefully this video will be a lot better with the audio leveling department. But with that being said...
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Really doing this.
Oh
Everyone
yeah.
viewing this, welcome to part 2.
Oh yeah.
We are watching right now.
Yes.
It's the second part to what could possibly end up being a 15-part series.
Oh, 23.
And I will link part 1 in the little card above now.
23
it's only
part.
10 minutes long, and it's a decent establishment video that attempts to organize what is to come.
I mean, it does establish quite a bit in this theory. It establishes who we're talking about. It establishes a bit of lore from Madagascar, and it establishes what is so wrong with our little friend Mort, who looks like a lemur, but is not. He is in fact this god of death, this anomalistic entity that for some reason exists even though there should be no possible way that this fucker should exist in the first place. He's immortal. He has the power to clone himself and suck the soul out of literally any single similar species to him. He is the bringer of death, Mort. Yes.
Prologue, and it truly highlights some of the things that Mort has done.
It does.
In the Madagascar franchise, that is. Some people...
Oh yeah, he also has 11 ex-wives that are dead. Yeah?
Thought I was making outlandish claims about him in that video and not backing it up. I want to again inform you, those were not my claims. Those were literally things Mort is in the spin-off show.
Yeah, in All Hail King Julian.
Like 12 wives. He is a soul sucker. He is genetically phenomenal.
He also is a 35-year-old man. Again, confirmed by All Hail King Julian, because why the fuck wouldn't he be a man disguised as a little lemur kid who just does not know what the world is? We know. Okay? We know your tricks, Mort. Don't think you're so sly, acting all cutesy and shit. We're onto you, fucker. We're onto you, bitch.
I also do have some more news, though. The mystery series I will be incorporating into this, alongside my Dubois and Over the Hedge theories, might be my 8-part series on the lore of Shrek. That means
shit.
The timeline theory, 4 godmother theories, 2 donkey theories, and the recent Reggie video will all be a part of this
shit.
dissertation. We'll see how big this video, part 2, ends up being as well, and then we'll...
I'm ready for this.
Before we begin, I also have updated news on the Madagascar timeline.
Ooh.
From what I understand, Penguins of Madagascar, the TV show, does come after everything in the timeline because at the end of their movie, they meet up with the circus gang again in a post-credits scene I had missed. We see Julian and friends in a Madagascar crate during the Penguins TV intro sequence, but it's likely a scheme of some sort after breaking up with Sonia. So with that said, incorporating the shorts and once again excluding the intro scenes of Madagascar 2 and Penguins, our official timeline stands as All Hail King Julian, The Christmas Caper, Madagascar the First, Merry Madagascar, Madagascar the Second, Madly Madagascar, Madagascar the Third, the Penguins movie, and yes, finally the Penguins TV show.
And then the Penguins TV show.
Finally put a definitive and necessary...
So all of these...
There seems to be an upcoming Hulu prequel show detailing the zoo gang as children, and that would be before everything, but it's irrelevant to Mort, and it's not even here yet.
Yeah, that would be a prequel to everything then, and like you said, it wouldn't be important to Mort and what we're looking at, so I don't think he needs to go through that, because heaven knows that he would only destroy his sanity even more if he had to watch all of that, as well as watching every single episode of Penguins Madagascar and every single episode of All That King Julian. Because we all know that the Theorizer is prone to many, many, many psychotic breaks. As we've seen with his Monsters Inc. Baby Snake Theory and his other videos here, he's prone to having psychotic breaks during videos too.
So now, people, do you know what time it is? I
Mort
promised
time.
part 2 would be me detailing Mort's oddness in the Penguins TV show, but I just had to watch All Hail King Julian. I had to.
Ooh.
And I watched all 6
everything
seasons of it.
Oh.
It consumed the month of May. It's why I got no uploads out. So we'll do that first and highlight
Consumed the month of
every
May.
bit of oddness in this video.
Here we
If I
go.
have a lifetime, I might need more than just one.
I mean, of course, you'll need more than just one video to encapsulate what the fuck Mort is. I know, it's crazy, it's insane. And if you've never seen this dude before and you're just watching this now, you're probably thinking, this dude's absolutely fucking deranged. What the fuck is this dude doing? 23-part theory on a character from Madagascar that has no background whatsoever? And you'd be right. He is a deranged freak, but he is a good deranged freak that makes tons of good theories. He's our deranged theorist freak. And that's a good thing. If you're watching this Theorizer, I don't mean that as a bad way. I mean that in the good way. I mean that in the best way possible. We fucking love you, dude. You are the Theorizer. There's a reason why you're called the Theorizer. You are the only one.
Hello, I'm the Theorizer, and you can tell it's weird when this show is stranger than all of my other theories combined. It's made by different...
Bold claim. Because some of your theories are whack-ass in the best way possible. So, how is this?
different people, but it's canon still, so this will get into
It's canon.
It's basically like these writers are literally tempting conspiracy theorists. They load in as many offhand weird comments as possible and literally bait you into solving them. Silver platter granted to me, I swear to you. It's painfully self-aware. What they've done is crazy. Mort is like if my Patrick Star theories all came true. I'm not joking. He truly is a multi-dimensional identity absorber. This is
I've never seen these Patrick Star theories.
Into a rapid bullet point format of insanity. Any qualms I had about him just being delusional this whole time were obliterated with this show from the first moments when he attempts Pusa with a high-key, dance.
But,
what this episode does try to explain is the feet. Julian rushes in and kicks the predators away with his dance, and Mort develops an obsession with his savior, King Julian, and the weapon of his salvation,
and the feet.
His
feet.
It might not be the true root of this obsession, though. We'll see later if it's a red herring or not. Here, Mort has suspicious intentions, and seems smart enough to evade death, and has love for Julian. We already know all of this. The show is full of that fast-paced, lazy joke, slapstick, and...
I mean, again, we knew that he was obsessed with King Julian's feet from Penguins in Madagascar, so... We then knew that, Mort has this weird, freaky obsession with, King Julian and his feet in particular. Maybe one of the first feet fetishists, if that's even a word. And I can't believe I just said that. But I'm gonna say something that I don't think I would ever think of saying even more. Mort is a fetishist. He likes King Julian's feet. It would be safe to say that Mort wants King Julian to stomp all over him. I'm gonna stop talking and I'm going to start the video again. Holy fuck.
it's also wildly inappropriate and amusing at totally random moments. This will also be a review of the show in some ways. In episode 2, he continues with the inappropriate references, and in episode 3, he authors a best-selling coloring book called 50 Shades of King Julian.
Hey, yo! Hey, yo, Mort! What are you doing? Hold up, just hold the phone. Just please hold it here. Have my phone. Hold it. Please, for the love of God, I beg you to hold it. 50 Shades of King Julian. No, this is getting to an obsession that is far too real. It's not even a parasocial relationship because they know each other. It's like if one of the DSMP stands got to meet like Dream or Sapnap or something like that. Oh boy.
When asked to keep a secret, he claims that he has voices that tell him to hide things until it's too late for people to stop him.
Schizophrenic. Another thing that Mort is. Is schizophrenic. It's like, the voices tell me to hide things. The voices tell me to do this thing or that thing. The voices tell me that I am an immortal god, and everyone else is just a beta male that is worshipping me. I'm a multi-dimensional, psychotic rat that needs to be let out of his cage in order to jump all of these timelines. Gonna turn to the Joker. Romulus. That's not the Joker.
In this episode, he also survives being eaten by a carnivorous flower and projectile vomiting way more than his body allows for. He is also blown up, crushed, carried away by a bird, and slammed into the ground from hundreds of feet. And again, the humor, it's so adult. There is no way kids wouldn't pick up on this. It's so constant. In the following episode, people literally get drunk from partying, and in episode 5, the Fusa engage in a proclaimed mating ritual to create a new species. It's absolutely crazy. There's this evil Vanaloka named Carl, who has an intimate relationship with his purring pet cockroach. Carl is self-aware, and Mort is always this show's test subject. The characters seem to already know he's indestructible, and they send him into dangerous situations constantly. Mort thinks Julian has exploded near the end of episode 3 and proclaims that no matter how much Julian rots, he will put him back together and they'll live with each other forever and ever.
Yeah, Mort's crazy. Mort has lost all of his marbles, and I mean like every single marble in the entire world. All like 20 billion of them. All 20 billion marbles he has lost. And maybe then some. This fucker's crazy. He's wild. He's uncontrollable. Who knows what he's gonna do next? I do. He's gonna jump the timeline. He's gonna multi-dimensional travel. He's crazy.
A whole new level of disturbed. Packed with lore as ever, the end of the episode seems to reveal that there are certain gods in the sky who respect the denizens of Madagascar. This is our first true taste of the supernatural in this show.
It's Mort to God of death, Mort, it's Mort.
And
I'm sorry.
Come in handy down the road. Still, we're only a few episodes in. This is going to drain me in the best way possible. But back to episode 4, Mort is behaving and speaking a little more intensely while doing a security check on someone. He wears a glove on his head and it transforms him. From what I've read on the wiki, I'm fairly certain I know what this is, but I'll delve more into that later, because if I theorize now, it'll just be answered later and the time will be wasted. Basically though, Mort spontaneously changes personality, accent, appearance, and still notices that the feet look different today.
Dude's a fucking shapeshifter. Not only that, he has powers. He has the ungodly power to turn into whoever the fuck he wants. Dear God. This is gonna be crazier than I thought.
In the 5th episode, he claims the feet haunt his dreams with pleasure. Mort seems to be lucid no matter how dumb he behaves. He has slightly violent tendencies too, I've noticed, to go along with his indestructibility. He says crazy things while self-aware, proclaiming Julian and Maurice's argument as a mommy and daddy fight. But pause on Mort for a second and let's go back to those sky gods, the lemur's warship. When episode 7 begins, they play a boombox and clouds roll in, seemingly confirming the existence of those deities. But I have to theorize a little bit here, bear with me. Because one episode prior, King Julian's bodyguard, Clover, goes on a vacation and she meets a very strange spiritual guru inner peace guy named Sage, who, when he heads off, whistles and a massive bird carries him away into the sky. Could this little bit of oddness be tied to the sky gods? We'll need to see if this sort of thing ever shows up again, because Sage's supernatural aura could tie to these sky gods and Mort can tie to them, thereby possibly answering some things. Because Mort and these deities are the two main supernatural elements of this show, from what I've seen so far. You know, aside from this lizard oracle, this show is chaotic neutral. Julian tries to fix his boombox so as to reconnect with Kevin, the god of precipitation, with the help of a small teneric named Timo, who claims Julian's family is inbred. Inappropriate kids show, but there's your single
kids show, by the way. You're inbred. Kids show, by the way. Kids show, by the way. 50 Shades of King Julian. Kids show, by the way. Someone who's susceptible to speed. No! It's a fucking kids show. Does your kid's show have a character that is inexplicably obsessed with speed and makes adult jokes all the time and suddenly has a character accusing one of the others of being inbred? No! This is not fucking okay. And I can tell that it's gonna be a lot worse. Kill me now!
Explanation for Julian's behavior. Inbreeding. Timo fixes the boombox with mechanical skills and becomes their scientist. He works out of a crashed USSR space pod. While he fixes the boombox to reconnect with the sky gods, Mort tries to summon rain with a song of his own and flings sticks into the sky. He suddenly screams, "Sun!" And then the sticks return stab him perfectly with maximum force. It's possible that he doesn't die of the sky gods and may not even know it. When they bring back the boombox to summon Kevin, Mort screams that the boombox is undead like a zombie and panics. You have experience with that too, Mort? In a previous episode, we saw Mort's X-ray, but here, a blow dryer seems to go through his mouth and out his butt real quick. So which is it? Normal anatomy or anomalous? When he invites the local...
He's anomalistic. He is 100% anomalistic. He's an anomalistic entity, and I will continue to say that. Ever since the first episode, he is an anomalistic entity. He is an anomalistic entity. He's a fucking anomalistic entity. Holy shit.
Into his home, he has a very odd demeanor and offers her a lotion made of his own tears. In this episode, episode 7, everyone sort of talks to themselves and acts if they have voices and identities, but Mort, as usual, takes the cake when he gets in the bathtub with the Oracle and claims they'll be sisters forever.
What?
They borderline portray him as Annie from Misery, as creepy, as maximally self-aware as possible. They play the creepiest music as Mort disappears and then reappears with a blonde wig on and treats her like they are sisters. Something's going on here. Something tells me this is a soul the wiki had referred to, one he absorbed. I'm getting ahead of myself. Next episode, Mort bullies Maurice and then joins a monarchy rebellion group who manipulates him into creating good art to convince others of rebelling.
Nice.
Based off of the things he's drawing, I'm quite sure he knows he's being manipulated.
He knows.
And fourth, eats dog meat and vomits it up. He knocks a ton of cacti over on them. He knows he's irritating them. In episode 9, he's scared, then bold, then claims he saves cake for his cheat days, and then things finally hit their stride and unravel in the season 1 finale. We're going through this quick, and I'm taking notes real quick. First, Maurice claims that he's just a co-star, implying he knows he's on a TV show. Then, Mort hits back with the innuendo, saying he'd love to eat the yummy King Julian. But the finale's true purpose is what shocks me most of all, and answers many of the oddities so far. You see, there's this Cove of Wonders near their kingdom, where tons of stuff washes ashore, and they find coffee. Julian gives it to the kingdom to improve productivity, and Mort tries chewing the coffee because he's stupid, and he screeches about how he has a drinking problem. The kingdom starts losing it, and then, literally right after this show jokes about conspiracies of super-intelligent Middle-earth government corruption, the most actually unexpected, left-field answer to all of this madness emerges from the shadows. Mort walks in with a monocle on and a British accent, claiming coffee has had a drastic effect on him, making him extremely intelligent for as long as it's in his system. I believe Mort, being this small and having that much coffee, has had this crazy hyper-metabolic effect that cranked him way past being hyper and basically acted as a drug unlocking his brain. I can't tell if this is just a more intelligent Mort or a new personality altogether, but smart Mort...
Does that beg the question that coffee is not actually coffee in the show? Is coffee this, like, weird administering, like, compound that when given to someone, it unlocks their brain? Like this brain unlocking drug that we see in a bunch of this, like, fictional movies and stuff like that, where the main character eats something and it unlocks his brain. Is that what this is? Is the coffee in this show, by definition, a brain unlocking drug that whenever someone takes it, they become infinitely smarter and know all the answers to the universe? Because if so, then the coffee is not actually coffee. What if Mort knew that eating the coffee beans would grant him this power? Yeah, sure, he's dumb and naive at times, but can we really put it past this fucker for him to not be, like, incredibly smart even without having coffee beans? Something's weird. Something does not sit right with me here, but I'm sure that as this video goes on, Theorizer will explain certain things, because as of right now, this is just insane.
Does claim he loves King Julian just as regular Mort does. It's soon revealed that the evil Carl guy set up the coffee to take over the kingdom with caffeine addiction. Smart Mort helps save the day, claiming normal Mort is barely competent. He convinces all of Carl's guards that they should be unsatisfied with their current healthcare plan and that he can help them form a union to negotiate a working wage and retirement plan. I am not joking. This is like the culmination of every whack theory I've ever posted on this channel, and I'm made for this. Carl's workers turn on him and Mort slowly degrades back and forth before becoming obsessed over the feat once again. The day is saved and Season 1 finishes, but the show is not nearly over, and my theories are truly just now beginning.
Yeah.
In Season 2, Mort keeps being crazy and playing along with jokes, including when he spontaneously summons an organ out of thin air and says he wants to explain how he did it. The second episode is one mouth.
Creates an organ out of thin air, doesn't explain and proceeds to play the world's best organ piece ever, still not elaborating. Chad move, honestly. Like, such a Chad move. Summons an organ out of thin air, refuses to elaborate, plays the world's best song ever on the organ goes away, and he still refuses to elaborate. What the fuck is this? I just saw this. Diapers are the new black. Julian sparks a fashion frenzy when he turns the box diapers into coolest styles the king of the... What?
Massive social commentary after another, and the third showcases Mort's creepiness when his voice deepens. It's so romantically disturbed. He brings out the blonde wig again and then tries to make a self-aware joke by saying, "Denial isn't just a river I heard about, apparently." He claims he's been in strange love before. Or is this a separate wig persona? We meet Clover's sister, Crimson, and she almost gets married to Julian, who objects and claims he's having an affair by loving his kingdom more than her, causing her to dip out and team up with Julian's uncle, who is trying to reclaim the throne. More later on that. But the reason for Mort's wig here...
You what?
He's the flower girl of the wedding. He behaves differently, I swear. It's not the Mort we're used to. By episode 4, things start to get weird again.
There seems to be many different Morts in this series. Like, sure, it's in one body, but it feels like there's many different Mort personalities. Which kind of ties into his whole theory about Mort having multiple personalities. By the end of this, he's gonna have solved this entire fucking DreamWorks thing.
Again, when King Julian is given a pineapple and tricked into believing it contains the knowledge of all kings prior, after he rips apart the beach ball of baby lemurs and tells them to go home and atrophy like normal children. What? Mort gets jealous of the pineapple's closeness to Julian and dreams of mutilating it. His worries aren't baseless, as Julian claims to spoon the pineapple at night. Mort kidnaps the pineapple and ties it to a chair while putting on a villainous accent and stroking his tail like a villain would stroke its cat.
Oh, he's about to fucking murder that pineapple. If the pineapple had blood in it, there'd be blood everywhere.
This is almost certainly another persona. So now we've got Smart Mort, the Misery Mort, this Mort. I'll catalog it later. They all seem to share the same motivations, like Mort has influenced them, but at their core they are not our Mort. Mort hallucinates that the pineapple is sentient and mocking him. When approached about his kidnapping of the pineapple, his inner monologue panics and then suddenly his face changes, and another Mort responds to the inner monologue followed by another, and another, and then one of them says, "I thought we were alone in here." They are now quite distinctly escalating the voices in his head from joke status to mystery status. To escape the confrontation, Mort spontaneously vomits excessively before regretting the sadness he's brought to Julian by kidnapping the pineapple. He tries returning it and evades some Fusa by tempting them with his little dance again. The sky gods perform a deus ex machina and strike down the Fusa with lightning, but Julian seemingly dies in the ensuing madness and appears in limbo where the pineapple some friggin' how proves itself to actually be sentient, unless this is just his subconscious. Just before he reawakens, Mort claims, "He looks so peaceful. I can have his body, right?" He says in the creepiest possible alternate accent. Who is this now? Is it really Mort? Regardless of the pineapple's sapience, the episode ends when Mort crushes it with a sledgehammer. Next episode, he makes an intentionally creepy drawing of Julian, and to top it off, helps introduce money into the kingdom. He immediately becomes a loan shark who cons people within seconds.
This is a whole lot of information at once. Not only that, but this series is actually fucking insane. The last time that I felt this was when I did the Baby Smitty Theory reaction. I don't know. I don't know. This has to be like the craziest theory ever, and we're only in part 2. Or, as I should say, episode 2. We're getting a full-ass season out of this shit, dude.
I'm not sure if his cleverness is him or another persona. He manipulates the entire population of the kingdom and creates devil deal contracts in which people sell him their souls or their babies. Again, this isn't my interpretation. This is all word for word in the show. He then promises Julian money if he sells his body to him by having Mort go on a date with his foot. What the f***? Everyone starts dying off because he hoards the money as a tycoon, culminating when Mort says game over and reveals he thought he was playing Monopoly the whole time. Next episode, Sage comes back and we see the huge hawk again, who he claims is his spirit animal. Other than that, there is still no evidence Sage has relations with the sky gods. In the 7th episode of season 2, Mort claims he's always off in his own world before his eyes split apart. This is in an episode amongst rigorous political innuendo regarding Julian's ancestor, Julian the Terrible, who is later struck with lightning, presumably by the gods, before disintegrating.
There's a lot of things about these sky gods in this show. Like, sky gods, political commentary, fucking monetary commentary, fucking Mort being this all-seeing eye being where he just somehow manages to have multiple personalities at once. Constantly going back and forth between these personalities. The evil villain. This misery girl character. This fucking smart Mort. What the fuck?
See show. Episode 8, though, is top-tier disturbed when Mort is so desperate for Julian's love that he convinces him he's secretly been his son all along.
What?
Mort then pretends to be a baby and embraces it to the point that I think it might be yet another personality. It's uncanny and
Baby
bizarre.
Mort.
When Julian asks Clover to be the mommy, she picks up Mort and his accent changes again when he calls her hard and bony. You guys were right. This show takes years off your life. I feel my soul just leeching away. This episode.
No, I feel my soul leeching as well, and I didn't have to watch the show, yet I'm watching this theory, and it feels like it's taking years off my life anyway. What the fuck is this show? It's like they knew what they were doing with this show. It's like they purposely made it this way. Come on, DreamWorks, what the fuck are you doing?
Crazy stuff, including a pageant Karen named Tammy who hypnotized her infant son, but the moral of this episode is this. Mort is actually older than King Julian is. We knew this before, but I want more explanation of this, and I just know I'll be getting some eventually. This show overall feels like one of those episodic comedies, but the writers have an absolutely phenomenal respect for continuity, better than some dramas I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
This makes it easier and deliberate. Commendable. But then in episode 9, Mort inhales Julian's aged toenail clippings to try to make a bloodhound. You know, it's funny. Many times now I've made a joke when writing notes here, and then seconds later it happens in the episode. Just goes to show how off the wall this really is. It is as crazy as my craziest theories. Mort attacks the guy who kidnapped
I mean, this is pretty fucking
and
crazy.
literally tears apart his face until he looks thrice his initial age. I don't...
Why?
It can't even. In episode 10, Julian reaches down Mort's esophagus and pulls out a live butterfly and a skeletonized human arm. In the following episode, Mort is his usual chaotic self, but we also see a monkey from the USSR who crashed on Madagascar from outer space, and he's still alive. He then returns home where the USSR flags are still in full effect, meaning Madagascar might take place in the 80s. I need more before solidifying it, though. In episode 12, Mort tries out to be Julian's rebound advisor after Maurice leaves. Mort pretends to be French, then sophisticated, and then really suggestive. He licks
3 different personalities, I bet. I bet those are 3 different personalities here.
his finger and sizzles it on his buttock. Are these more personas?
Probably.
The snazzy one wears the same wig as the Misery altar, so maybe? It's hard to tell as he admits he's faking it. In Julian's time of need, the pineapple's ghost reappears to him. Still unclear whether it's an advisor from the heavens, Julian's conscience, or something to do with the sky gods. I don't know. In episode 13, Mort once again pulls the mommy-daddy card on the main characters. Weird perspective. Episode 14 is relentlessly rife with religious commentary when the existence of the sky gods is finally questioned. Suddenly, one of the gods appears, but it's just a robotic ploy by Carl to kill Julian. So they build a counter-robot and Mort attacks back. Will we ever learn the truth of the supernatural?
I think we will.
It's having an identity crisis and it thinks it is the leftovers. But, near the end, a massive cloud does fly down and immediately back up after raining and electrocuting, proving, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that these gods
exist.
In episode 15, Mort becomes the face of Julian's new nightclub, Club Moist. He dances up on stage like a chick from the roaring 20s, singing about how Julian's feet make him weak, and everyone applauds Mort for being so moist. They rename...
Something tells me that this is not a kid's show. What? Club Moist? Julian's feet make me weak? Telling Mort that he is moist. Yeah, it sounds like a kid show to me. It sounds like a very average kid show to me. I'm having an episode.
Name him to Pork because he's tender, sweet, and smoky. He celebrates by raving about how he's a non-kosher meat.
What?
He attracts lemurs from all over the kingdom when he sings about
What?
onions. This is another personality. I dare you to pull it up on Netflix and watch for yourself. Mort wishes to be used. Words from his own mouth. In the season 2 finale, Julian thinks he's dying, so Mort keeps giving him sponge baths and rectal thermometers. Onward to season 3, everybody. This is when things start to actually get weird. What you've seen.
Oh! You tell me it gets weirder than that. You tell me it gets weirder than everything that we've seen. As if it wasn't already fucking weird. You have the gall to say, this is where it gets very weird. Like, it hasn't already been extremely fucking weird from the beginning. My god, what is in this show? What are you going to tell me that will make me speechless for the next 2 minutes?
So far is literally nothing. Inappropriate messages abound about selling bodies, holes, and bloomers. The 2-part premiere follows everyone saving Julian again, who's been kidnapped by pirates this time. Mort, as per the usual, tracks with conviction so intense he eats Julian's footprints. He organizes a battle plan as if he's some sort of warlord, maybe another persona. When they find the ship, all of the other pirates recognize Mort as Dread Pirate Mort, the nemesis of this ship's captain.
Huh? You told me that there's yet another persona going on here? Did Mort lead a previous life as a fucking pirate? And not just a pirate, Dread Pirate Mort. You tell me this motherfucker killed people? I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. I definitely would not put it past him that Mort has killed people. New theory, Mort has killed people. Write it down, the Theorizer. New theory, Mort has slaughtered many, many people. Get on it. Unless you've already, touched on it, in which case, well, shit.
Last they met, they were fighting for the love of Empress Galeria off the jagged coast of Fouche.
What?
He has a painting of the battle on his wall at home, and he screams, "For Galeria," before owning the other captain. Mort calls the other pirates mere children and doesn't object to the notion that he'd kill at least 5 people a day during his pirating years. Then, he shows off his true supernatural capabilities when Clover dangles Julian like a carrot on a stick above Mort, causing him to sprint on the water and drag their boat behind him. When Julian's parents return, Julian is thrilled, but the others are not, and Mort suggests they eliminate the parents and make it look like an accident. Apparently.
Hitman! Mort's a hitman now! Mort is all of these things, including a hitman. So he's a hitman, he is a pirate, he is a prostitute. Mort being a prostitute. Why is that so funny to me? Why is that thing that's funny to me? Mort being a prostitute. I feel like this has broken me, and we're only on the second part. This has absolutely broken me, and we're already on the second part.
Apparently he knows a guy. Everyone finally just asks Mort, what the hell is wrong with him?
Yeah.
And he says a lot of stuff before splitting his eyeballs again. When they decide to
he has a lot of things wrong with him. Not just a few. Everything is wrong with this motherfucker. Everything and then some. Everything and then more everything. And then even more everything is wrong with this guy.
Focus on older hobbies. Mort claims his favorite hobby is making wigs out of stolen hair.
Why?
Maurice's only hobby is taking...
Fucking fuck McFuck. Wise words from the Theorizer. Can we write that down as a quote, please? Fucking fuck McFuck. The Theorizer. 2020. Write that down as a quote. He has a wonderful way with words. Let me tell you.
Care of Julian, who's the closest family he has. Mort interrupts and proclaims that he's outlived all of his relatives.
Nice.
It's like he's flaunting his eeriness at this point.
He's like, oh, by the way, I'm like actually 50 years old now. He's like, by the way, I'm over like 100 years old, so don't fuck with me, because I will rip your feet off, King Julian. I will rip your feet off and use them to pleasure myself with. Forget that I said that.
He forgets Clover even exists for a moment, and then we see into Julian's nightmare. And the second it popped up, I knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
I just about died from throwing my body into the wall, aghast with shattered expectations.
What is this?
Nope. No.
What?
Oh, you gotta be f***ing kidding me. What?
What? Huh?
Why are you talking backwards?
What the hell? What the fuck?
You know, this actually makes about as much contextual sense as the work it's based on. So this is directly parodying Twin Peaks, and just when I thought they wouldn't go there,
Yeah.
they did.
They did.
Exactly that. By the way, I did reverse Mort's speech, and he basically just says here, "Let's do this. From where we come from, there's always mangoes in the air." Reference to something that itself makes sense to the subconscious of maybe a sleep paralysis demon. From what we've seen, I must admit, Mort is the best one for this portrayal. A pineapple even flies by, once again pulling a leftovers by hiding whether or not this fruit spirit is just in his dreams or if it's really a spiritual mystery box. Mort later obsesses over Julian having dreamt of him and calls him a lover. Julian hallucinates Mort getting eaten by a shark, and Mort somehow is aware of this. Can he read minds? Mort helps make Maurice cry just to mock his emotions. Mort brings up that guy who makes people disappear, again, on deaf ears. At this point, we've reached episode 5 of the 3rd season, and Mort's back at it with that glove that makes him aggressive. He sniffs it and laughs evilly, presumably.
So the aggressive Mort is another personality that he has. Aggressive Mort. Misery Mort, who also could be seductive Mort. Prostitute Mort. Hellspawn Mort. Fucking, I don't know. An all-seeing deity Mort, for all we know.
Knowing that it will summon his altar like last time. We are met with more and more fourth wall breaks than ever, and Mort severely dislocates his rib and cranks it back into place maniacally.
Nice.
By the way, it's revealed that there's an uprising of sentient bells that plan to reclaim Madagascar from beneath the ground.
Why?
Apparently Mort does have experience with zombies, as we jokingly asked before, because in episode 6 he has a tea party with one. In episode 7, Mort romanticizes Julian again and then gets abducted by aliens after praying to the sky gods.
What?
Psychic lizard lady uses her telepathy and sees it was just some researchers tracking lemurs. They barcoded Mort. This proves that the lizard truly is magic, though, and she can read minds quite clearly, so there is some supernatural in this show. Mort sifts through every personality type we've seen yet while going through this episode. Maybe they were out researching him for his anomalous psychology. They do chip him the following night, and everyone rescues him later, learning that humans exist in the process. So yes, this episode is crucial, but I question why they wear hazmat suits in Madagascar.
Yeah.
Then eats a bucket of tracking chips, of course. Everyone else hides in the bunker, and when the main characters get back and they cannot find anyone, they think all of the kingdom raptured to the sky god's heavens. The psychic lizard laments about being left behind. This show thinks it's the leftovers again. In episode 8, Mort pretends to be a butterfly so he can start a war by firing mangoes at innocents from the air.
Mangoes!
The real butterflies are all psychopaths and were just waiting for a reason to attack, so now they haven't. War happens, socio-political commentary, they kill the queen, happy ending, and then finally, we get the next true reveal episode. So Julian wants fast food for the kingdom. Mort helps out. He claims he was born 5 years premature. His grandmother left him a huge tank of healthy food. He puts on a deep voice that sounds nothing like himself. Actual anti-falsetto head-ass. It gets crazier. Way crazier. They run out of food, and Julian asks Mort to remember how they can get some more. Mort panics and screams he forgets everything his granny told him because it was 50 years ago.
What?
Julian screams, "How old are you?" And then Mort's inner voice, himself, says, "Come on, Mordecai, you can remember," before he suddenly sees his granny. She is the one with the blonde wig, from what I can best tell, pulling some sort of Bates Motel altar. He communes with her memories somehow. Julian slaps him and asks who he's talking to. Mort intuits the recipe for fast food and loads a bunch of discarded junk into the food tank and creates food again, but then it becomes a huge metallic black hole of sorts that sucks everyone in until Clover saves them.
Nice.
So I know Mort's granny has some answers to the madness. I need to see more of her.
And we know Mort's probably at least 50 years old then, right? Because Mort said that it was 50 years ago, so he's at least 50 years old in this show, right? Am I getting that correctly? He's at least 50 years old. That means he could be, for all we know, like I joked about before, he could be 100 years old. We don't know. He could be, like, this immortal god. Hundreds of years old.
Or smart Mort to get some true theories going here. Mort wants to eat a scorpion, but his mouth won't open wide enough. He slurps it up anyways. Scorpions crawl out and he consumes them again. It's now episode 10. More political commentary. This one is really trying hard to make itself obvious. Not particularly one way or another, but the show undoes its own lessons and just mocks literally every aspect of various situations through a lens of lemurs. The jokes also have reached the point of being as edgy as Total Drama Island, but slightly more veiled. In episode 11...
Yeah, Total Drama Island had the edgy jokes. Had, like, some of the most edgiest jokes ever. And it kind of rode the line of what you could and could not do or say in a Cartoon Network show. It rode that line all the way to the end. Like, from the first episode all the way to the end. It did not get off of that line. It stayed on that line and had the best balance ever. As it stayed on that line throughout the entire series.
11. Mort claims he had a homeschool prom with his granny.
What?
Cue to him making out with her in his mind. He wakes up and screams, "What year is this?" with a wig on.
Huh?
He references his grandmother again in episode 12 when he quotes her as saying, "Set the butterfly free, and if it gets caught in the spider web, there's gonna be a whole bunch of spider babies come springtime."
What?
He then flips upside down with a horrific grin on his face and crawls around the room cackling like an evil spider. He's beaten to near death by a huge wildebeest and is fine. He explains this, claiming he's part starfish, and that he can regenerate so well once he grew back his own head. They literally just explained part of his seeming invulnerability. They did it for me.
He's part starfish.
Once again, like if my Patrick Star theories came to life. If he's a starfish, then he almost certainly is also part spider based on what we just said earlier there. He doesn't lie. He's serious. Everything is appallingly true. He gets the snazzy voice on again when he says, "I'll do what you want. You don't have to poke me with a stick unless you want to."
Ew.
He gets sucked into a reel of tape, compressing him into the cassette, but he's a starfish, so that's fine. He's fine.
That's fine, yeah.
Clover gets hurt, and she appears in the White Void, where Pineapple greets her and brings her deceased relatives. Clover knows Kung Fu like the panda variety, and her grandmother taught her before dying. This then clearly is Limbo. It's not all in Julian's mind, as Clover never met Pineapple. The pineapple is just the random form the king's spirits decided to take after people joked about it really being the case. It truly is supernatural. This has ramifications. Pineapple claims he made an interdimensional bet, and he fears he will lose it. We later confirm for good that this is the afterlife, and a bunch of fruits rule over it as they watch a cage fight between Clover's grandma and the man who killed her. This just leveled up. I'm sort of blowing all my theories now, but I really damn think these fruits are the sky gods. Or at least what Julian has interpreted as sky gods. They call heaven Frank Rila, and this is later revealed to be Frank Rila, and the Frank Rila is the sky god's heaven, etc. interpretation. Finally, in the season 3 finale, Julian wants to map all of the universe, and Mort claims he's from a planet named Futicus Majora in the far reaches of space. He could be pretending, not lying, but pretending. This is, after all, just a pretend map, and Julian says get your own solar system. But what if he's not kidding? This explains everything and nothing at the same time. Alien Mort.
Yeah. He sounds like General was separate and he had it from before.
In this finale, everyone builds a wall to keep out the other species. They launch all...
Sounds very familiar. I cannot believe that just happened. Sounds very familiar to me. We need to build a wall. Keep the Mexicans out.
With a catapult, and then the various other kings all rally under a mysterious overseer that plans a revolution, revealed to be none other than Mort. Julian, in his direst time of need, sees the ghost of Pineapple, who's in rough shape because he lost his bets and he owes everyone money. Julian dismisses his advice as greeting card sentiment and walks away. Mort doesn't like leading a revolution, but I'm pretty sure another personality stepped into the job because he rallies all the kings to invade and proclaims how everyone has to go for the males first, sell the children, and, quote, the women. Oh, the women. We always treat with respect.
What?
You never know what's him or his alter egos, and this is putting me in a tight situation. I need to cut it here because this is quite possibly the longest individual theory video I have ever posted. It might break my 25-minute limit, and I need probably 2 more. Yes, this is still all only part 2, and now it's been split into 3 sections so I can edit it all in time. I'm going to edit the next one now really quick and get it out ASAP, so absolutely subscribe and stay tuned because season 4 is easily when things become Mort's show. All of our questions are seemingly answered, and finally, my theories can begin to flourish. Until next time, I'm the Theorizer.
Yeah, so remember how I said that this would be fucking crazy? I wasn't lying. I wasn't fucking lying when I said that this was gonna be like the craziest thing ever. I may need a day to, you know, recover from this. Or tomorrow I just go back into recording and get into the craziness that is MORT Theory 3, dissecting all Hail King Julian. You know. Again, there's 3 more. There's 2 more videos in the Hail King Julian shit, so I mean. Anyway, that will be it for me. I will see all of you in the next Theorizer reaction. Until then, keep on watching and subscribe, like, comment, do whatever the fuck you want. And I will see all of you in the next video. Later.